we belong to? This is a vital question when dealing with topics like assisted suicide. One might make the argument that we belong to a higher being or some sort of God, or that we belong to those who love us. But legally, who do we belong to? You can't make the argument that we belong to a higher being, as at least in the US, we practice a separation between church and state, and there's no official religion. And you can't make the argument that we belong to others, as the 13th Amendment bans slavery, and according to Webster's dictionary, slavery is defined as somebody who is the legal property of another. Individuals belong to themselves. And I don't think I'm alone in this thought process, as the US Constitution is famous for its inalienable rights, promising each individual the right to life, which means we're given the option and opportunity to live, liberty, which means we're given the freedom to make choices, and the pursuit of happiness, which means we're given the opportunity to seek our own happiness. For some, sadly, because of the situations they're put in, the only way for them to find peace and happiness is through death. So do we help people find peace, or do we force them to struggle through insufferable pain? I think people should be granted the right to decide whether to live or not. And I'm going to explain this through showing you the case of Matthew Donnelly, analysis of US law, and proposed solutions. First, I'm going to start with the case of Matthew Donnelly, provided by Santa Clara University in 2015. Matthew Donnelly studied the use of X-rays. He lived a successful and happy life, but he was diagnosed with skin cancer, losing his nose, his left hand, 2 fingers on his right hand, his jaw, his sight, and his will to live. The doctors told him he had less than a year left to live, and through that time that he was living, he went through excruciating amounts of pain. He begged for them to end his life, but was refused multiple times. His brother, unable to ignore his request anymore, upon Matthew's request, shot him, and he was tried for murder. A patient should not have to feel that they're better off if their disease were to get worse. And now that we've taken a look at a case study, I'm going to do a legal analysis. Currently, 5 U.S. states, according to the Patients' Rights Council in 2015, permit, or it is not illegal to have some sort of assisted suicide. A common argument against assisted suicide is that God or nature is responsible for deciding when you die, and it's not the right of an individual to decide, according to CNN in 2016. A counter-argument, though, that I have is that 31 U.S. states, according to deathpenaltyinfo.org in 2016, permit the death penalty or use it as a form of punishment. Out of these states, only one state, Montana, permits assisted suicide. So these same states that are making the argument that we do not get to decide when we die and that it's not a humanly decision are using euthanasia to kill their criminals. Another argument is that assisted suicide negatively impacts the family or friends of patients, according to NPR.org in 2015. My counter-argument, though, is that many legal factors negatively impact family and friends, like divorce, dropping out of college, disowning, etc. You cannot make laws to spare people's feelings, especially laws that force other people into physical pain to help stop your own emotional pain or discomfort. Another argument is that assisted suicide will coerce the poor into ending their life for financial reason, which seems valid, except there's no evidence to support this, according to the New England Journal of Medicine in 2016. There is currently no correlation shown between those of low income and those that are using assisted suicide. So what can we do? What are our solutions? Luckily, modern medicine has saved countless lives and boosted the overall quality of life. So instead of prolonging pain and stopping suicide, let's stop the pain that causes suicide. If we work towards medical advances to cure terminally ill people and reduce pain, things will get much better. A person shouldn't live to please another person. And a person who's living for another person and no longer has the will to live is not truly living their life, and at least not happily. So we should legalize assisted suicide and educate people of their options. So what can you do as an individual? Well, first, the most obvious choice is that you can sign petitions. You can tell the government what you think, as this is a topic that's often glossed over and not very well looked into because it makes people uncomfortable. But by signing petitions like those at euthanasiadebate.org and change.org, you're telling people exactly what you think. You can also support your loved ones and make them understand how loved they are, as this often helps people get through pain. and educate yourself and others of the options presented by modern medicine. And lastly, and most importantly, show interest and support the advancement in medicine to help end suffering. The people who go into STEM fields and researchers and scientists, and even just the people who show genuine interest, are the people who help end pain for everyone. So in conclusion, people should not be forced to live through intense suffering that they will probably not survive. We should be allowed to make decisions for ourselves, as our bodies and lives belong to us and solely us. Keeping assisted suicide illegal puts people in situations where they feel they must take their own lives in gruesome manners or make another do it, which makes them charged for crime to find peace. We should support people in their decisions and help end suffering in whatever means possible. Thank you.